Well, hey everybody, we're out on the little 350 Classic again. It's the one that everybody loves on the channel. They all seem to like it every time I upload something about it. We're just about to go through a real pretty little village called Easton, and it's spelled E-A-S-T-O-N, Easton, and it's the traditional British village, really. But this ride involves a story. Do you like good stories? Well, I do. I thought you might do. Well, this is not a story really, it's a true thing, and we're going to go and investigate it all. But we're not filming in Easton much, we're just having a little drive. You see the pub there on the right hand side, the White Horse, just there. Well, if you remember that, because that's got quite a bit of bearing to the story. And we've got this crinkle crankle wall, what we call a crinkle crankle wall. It goes in and out, in and out, in and out. And you don't see it very often. They're quite rare throughout the country, but either that or it's a real bad bit of bricklaying. But that's one of the distinguished. Anyway, we're nearly through Easton now. It goes up a little bit further up there, but we're going down here to the start of this story. We're going to a little hamlet called Letheringham, and Letheringham consists of about 10 houses, I guess. God, poor little Classic. I'm going to have to clean it after this, aren't I? But there's been enough rain to wash all the salt off the roads, and they wouldn't have salted down here anyway. The depth gauge there to see how high the river is, which also plays a little bit of a part in this story, as we'll see when we go around the next couple of corners. That's the river, quite high. Let's go around this corner and then up to the next one, and we're at the start of the story. Forgetting what gear I'm in now. This building here is Letheringham Mill, and there's been a mill here, a water mill, since, I'm going to pull up a little bit, since time immemorial. I mean, it's going back to the Saxon times, I think, and this is for the start of the story. Anyway, fast forward from Saxon times to the 1600s, well, 1698 to be exact with you. I'm going to keep moving because my visor's steaming up, my glasses are steaming up. But anyway, you've seen the mill. Well, the mill was owned by a chap called John Bullard in 1698, and also his son was also called John. So the pair of them ran the mill, and they had a couple of employees. One of them was a journeyman. If you don't know what a journeyman is, it's somebody who's trained in their profession but works for others and is paid on a daily basis. So yeah, they had this guy working for him, a name called Jonas Snell, his name was. And going forward to a precise date now, the 10th of February 1698, Jonas Snell turned up for work as per usual, asked his master whether he could have leave to go and see his brother, and He said, yes, that's not a problem. But he didn't go and see his brother. He went off to the pub at Easton, the one that we passed on the way in. And he spent the whole afternoon in there. Anyway, being February, it was getting dark fairly early. Anyway, when it got dark, he went back to the mill and he crept his way in there undetected and found some of his master's clothes and started going through all them looking for money, because he never had any money. This is Leatheringham, a little cluster of houses in the middle of nowhere. That's it, that's the end of Leatheringham down there. So yeah, he got into the into the mill and started going through his master's clothes that were lying around. Couldn't find anything. I say he never had any money. But he found his master and his son, the two Bullards, in the office doing the annual accounts. And he kept his eye on them, kept hidden in this store room, kept hidden, hoping that they would reveal where they kept the money. But they didn't, and they got finished, and Bullard was pretty drunk by the time this time. Not Bullard, Snell. And he looked around in the storeroom and he found a maul. A maul is it's an axe, but one side of the head is like a sledgehammer and the other one is an axe. Anyway, he burst in on them, took them by surprise and made very short work of them, and killed them both. And then he tied them by the ankles and hoisted them up into the rafters in the top of the mill, and then smashed the door off the hinges and got himself out. And they were found a few hours later. And of course there was a massive manhunt then, trying to find the killer. Went on all through the night. The next morning they found Jonah Snell wandering around less than half a mile away. And his clothes were soaked in blood. And he was still carrying the axe, which was covered in blood. So they arrested him and they took him to Wickham Session Court, which is, if you get down at the bottom of this road and turn left, you go into Wickham Market. It's about, I don't know, I'll tell you in a minute when I look at the signpost. 1 mile. It's just 1 mile to Wickham Market. Anyway, they took him to the Session Court and he offered no defence whatsoever to his charges. So they found him guilty and he was sentenced to hang. Anyway, they shipped him off to Bury St Edmunds jail. Now that's not the one that's still left there now, it's the one that was there before that. This is 1698. And in 1699 they brought him back from jail and they hung him on Gallows Hill in Wickham Market. So this is Gallows Hill. Where that tree is was where the gallows stood. That's where he met his end. Got his suspended sentence. It's a remote place. Private property keep out. But there was 162 people that were hung there on the gallows before him. He was 163rd. So all those years ago, that's where he met his end, up there. So I'm knackered. I've just been walking miles down this track to get here because it's a bridle way. You can't ride motorbikes down here legally. Well, I don't want to cause any trouble. So right, let's move on. But that wasn't the end of the story, not quite. Because at the time the law had been changed, so judges had the prerogative of after a criminal had been hanged, they could either go to science and let the scientists and medical people unravel them and try and work out what made them tick, or they'd be gibbeted, which is hung in a metal frame, the body, as a warning to everybody else coming into the area not to do dark things. And anyway, that's what he did to Jonah Snell. So they carted his body from Gallows Hill, and they brought it up here. And if I can find somewhere to park, I know I'm on a motorbike, but it's a little bit off the beaten track here. I don't like coming in these woods. I really do not like coming in these woods. There's something about them. I don't know what it is. And a lot of people are very superstitious about these woods. I've just gone past it. I need to do a U-turn. Hang on a minute. I'll risk life and limb now on the top of the brow of a hill. Hopefully I can get round before anybody comes. This road does get quite busy. Am I at the right place? I don't think I am. Yes, I am. I've got to go a bit further. Try and pull up off the road. Yeah, this is where we've got to go. Oof. God, it's marshy here. Right, into neutral, indicator off. Off. Will it stand on the side stand? I doubt it. Oh, might do. Anyway, key out, risk life and limb. I'm going to get the other side of this gate before I get killed. Well, I'm back again now. We're plodding up this hill. And in the 1600s, this wasn't just a footpath, it was a really busy track. We didn't have proper roads then, you know, I mean, there's no vehicles. So lots of people used to come up and down here, loads of people. I don't know that, somebody's ringing me. I do not like these woods. I've been up here twice, and this will be the last time I come in them. So, I haven't got very far to go, just up here a little way. So this was a really busy road. Horses and carts and people coming in and out of the towns, and when they put somebody in a cage and on a gibbet, they did it near a road so that everybody could see them. And it was a warning not to do dark deeds, and that's exactly what it was. So they brought him up here on a cart, and they covered his body in tar so he didn't decompose too quickly, and then put him in the frame and hoisted him up onto a gibbet. And the amazing thing is, his remains remained in that iron cage for 41 years. They didn't cut him down until 1740. So when they did, they buried his remains close to the gibbet. I'm going to cut you off there because I don't think I'm quite up there yet. And that, my friends, is where Jonah Snell spent 41 years in death, hanging off this post. That's the original post from 1690. I can't believe that piece of wood has lasted 340 odd years. But the plaque on there So if you can read that. There you go. So he was hanging on there for 41 years. And his remains are buried close by, but we don't know where because it was an unmarked grave. But there we are, and this is a real spooky old wood. I don't like it at all. There's been loads of tales of hauntings. I don't believe any of that crap, but you never know, do you? But yeah, and I think this is the last, as far as I know, this is the last remaining original gibbet still left in the country. There's been recreations various places, but unless you know different, let me know in the comments. I keep hearing things. The hell was that? Did you hear that? Sorry about that, guys, I couldn't resist it. Just want to make sure you're all still awake. Yeah, so there we are, that's the story of that. And all those years ago, and there's still evidence of it. I think gibbets were put up peculiar to the person that was going to go on it, because they had to be put near a busy road, and they had to be pretty close to where the crime scene took place. And it's not very far to Leveringham Mill from here, so there we are. I can see the little 350 still there. I'm starting to hear things now. I want to get out of this place. I don't like it. No, not at all. Right, I'll see you on the next one. Now, if you want to read Jonah Snell's confession that he made in Bury St Edmunds jail, I'll leave a link in the description, and you can find out exactly what his side of the story was. And it wasn't published until 1800 and something, but it was in a newspaper, and I found an article about it. So anyway, if you like this sort of malarkey, consider liking and subscribing, because it does help me out. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.